Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to Tuesday Night Knit Chat. This is a knitting podcast where we mostly have knitting. My name's Noelle, and this is my friend,
Kelly.
And we're coming to you both this time from Southwestern Ontario, Canada, on a dull, gloomy, foggy.
But not snowy, so that's
snowy,
okay.
Not
that's
snowy,
okay. We're under a weather advisory right now, but it's for fog. So not.
Well, I know, and places just east of us are supposedly going to get freezing rain. So we'll take the fog.
Yes, absolutely.
But anyways, welcome everybody. We're glad that you're here. This is our bi-weekly get together in the Knit Chat Cafe where we chat with all of our friends and, you know, share what we're doing and what we're making, whether we finished anything, started anything, bought anything. Anyway, we're glad that you're here. And yeah, so let's get started.
Well, we had a couple
how long has it been since? It's been 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I should know that.
But we had a couple of, in Canada anyway, a couple of holidays go by. So firstly, on February 14th, we had Valentine. First, we had Friday the 13th. Then Saturday was Valentine's Day on 14th. And then on the 15th, Sunday, or is it Monday? It was Monday. Monday. Okay. Was the actual day. And we call that Family Day here in Canada. And I believe in the States, it's President's Day because I know the stock market was yesterday and I saw that message too. So yeah, we've had, it sort of felt like a little bundle of special days. So hopefully everybody got to spend some time in there, either with someone you love or doing something you love. And yeah, I just hope you had a really great weekend. I had a really busy weekend. Super busy every day, long hours. And yeah, but it was good. It was good. And ended up, our family day was pretty special too. So here we go.
And we're over halfway through February now.
We are.
You know, we're turning a corner. We're looking forward. Well, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, we're looking forward to. I saw a lot of people saying that some of the like springtime flowers are starting to pop out.
Not in my yard.
I haven't seen any. I haven't seen any here, but a lot of people are saying that. So right now, we still have a lot of snow on the ground, although it is melting.
Yes.
So.
Oh, and Mary Ruth is telling us that today is also Mardi Gras. You're right. I guess it is.
Okay,
it's
right,
Tuesday.
That's right. I didn't have pancakes today.
I didn't either.
I don't like pancakes, so I wouldn't have had them anyway. But
yes,
I did. I did think about that. I think actually I was talking to Zoe last night, and she was saying her class was actually making pancakes for the school. Now I don't know. She's only in grade 3. I don't know how these pancakes are going to turn out, but she was pretty excited about that. So
I don't really think you can go too wrong with a pancake.
No,
unless you burn it. That's really the only.
And then you just douse it in enough syrup, and
more maple syrup makes everything better. Yes, absolutely.
So anyway, okay. Well, I guess we should maybe start off with any questions. Kelly, did you have any questions?
I had a couple of questions that came in my DM, so I just answered them in there.
Okay.
So I don't think there was anything really group worthy to share this time.
Okay, I had one question about spinning and where to get affordable fiber, especially for somebody just starting off. Now, this was Joy, and I know Joy does live in Ontario. So Joy, for Ontario, I would suggest Wellington Fibers. They do have a website. They're oftentimes at the local shows here, like they're at Woolstock. They might be at Kitchener, I'm not sure. But they're like, they do sell different breeds of sheep. So I know a lot of times new spinners will look for Corriedale because it's kind of sticky and it's a little bit easier to get used to. I had a quick look at their website tonight, and I know when I go and buy some things from there, a lot of times they'll have like 250 grams and it's maybe $34, whereas a lot of other places you'll get 100 grams and it'll be close to that amount. So I would suggest looking there. I just had a quick look. If anybody here knows of any other places where you can get reasonably priced fiber, I guess, you know, when you're just starting off, you don't necessarily have to have all the hand dyed braids that you're going to pay more money for. You just want to get used to the process of spinning.
Yes. Yes.
So, and I know I do also order from John Arbin in the UK. They do have pretty good prices. Even for me to get it shipped, they do have pretty good prices on fleece. So that's a couple of ideas.
Just reading some comments here. It's also, Maria has reminded us that it's also, oh, no, wrong one. Sorry, here we go. That it is Chinese
yes.
well.
Because the year of the fire horse.
Fire
I
horse.
saw that. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what a fire horse is, but it's the year of the fire horse. So.
Excellent.
Okay, so maybe we'll move on and talk about the whips that we have going on.
Yes.
And I think we have some prizes to give away from the sock make along that ended at the end of
that
January.
I forgot to draw when I was away. So I did that. We're good to go.
Okay.
Do we want to start there?
So every month, at the end of the month, our sock make along goes on all year long, but at the end of every month, we actually draw two prizes. One is a pattern prize that's generously donated by our friend Natalie, who is Remembrances_Natalie Sheldon.
Yes.
And we also have a sock yarn prize. So Kelly has pulled them. So
okay, so this month, also I should note that we had, for the month of January, 310 pairs of socks entered in January. So that's a great start for the new year.
Well, it is, because a lot of people are tired of making socks after getting all the Christmas knitting finished up in December.
Yes.
So
yes.
300 and something pairs in January is good.
310 is a really good number. If you do the simple math, though, it will not get us to the goal of 5,026.
But last year, a lot of them came in the last few months. So
yeah. So
okay.
But anyway, that's a great start. And okay, pattern winner is Kim. So it was number 36. Kim, who is Knit Hansen on Ravelry, and she has this lovely pair of socks. And I'm thinking these are West Yorkshire spinners.
It looks like West Yorkshire spinners.
Yeah, it looks like one of their patterns. I don't know the name of this one. I only know a few of their names, and I don't know this one, but
I don't know
it
this
looks
one either, but it's pretty.
very West Yorkshire spinner to me.
Yep.
Yeah, and they look cozy.
And they do. West Yorkshire spinners yarn makes great hard wearing socks.
Yes,
at least
really
in what we've found.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right. So congratulations on
congratulations to Kim.
And then the yarn prize. Let me show you this before I show you who won. This was a generous donation from our friends Kim and Colin at Ginger Snap. And this is Sassy Siren, which I think is a great way to start the year off as a Sassy Siren. This is their heathered gradient. So there are 55 grams in each one. So you can either get a gradient matching pair of socks, and you could do them identical, or you could like flip them and have them going in the gradient going in different directions, or you could pair it together and get a pretty nice small shawl out of it as well. And the gradient is very beautiful and graduated. It's lovely. I saw some samples of this knit up in their booth, and it's really, really a pretty one. So that is what the yarn prize is, and the winner is Caroline, who was lucky number 52. And I'm trying to remember the name of her colorway is Hamburglar. And yeah. And I'm thinking, like, was that from, it does look like the colors that the Hamburglar wore.
Well, the Hamburglar is from McDonald's, right?
McDonald's, yeah. But it does look like his colors. So I don't know if that's what the dyer had in mind, or if it's, or is it supposed to be like ketchup, mustard, relish on a sesame seed bun? I don't know.
I don't know. Well, it could be, but anyway, looks
regardless of whatever it is. The colors are really good. I really like it. But it does have all the colors of a hamburger in there. So it was an interesting name for the colorway. So congratulations on that. And I will put up. There we go.
Okay, so Anybody that won a prize, you can contact us at knitsandpiecespodcast@gmail.com. If you want a physical prize, we need your full name, your address, and your phone number. And for a pattern prize, I will send you a code and you can go in and pick your pattern. So congratulations and keep knitting all those socks, everybody. So, okay. Oh, and I just want to say hi. I see Lillian's in here. I haven't seen her for a while or seen her name in here. So hi, Lillian. We're glad that you're here joining us. And she's from Alberta, who I read earlier has gotten winter back again, because I think they had a couple of milder days and now they're back into winter. But Alberta tends to be like that, with the weather kind of up and down all the time. So,
well, I wondered if that was the case because my son and his wife flew out to BC last night, and their flight, they made it to Calgary. Okay. But then the flight from Calgary into Abbotsford was delayed an hour and a half.
Okay.
So I don't know if there was some weather system going through there or not, but okay. I just went in and set up that tool. I forgot. You asked me like before. Yes. And anyway, we're done now. It's all set up.
Yep. Okay. So we want to encourage everybody to get involved in the sock knit along. And then the other make along that we've got ongoing at the moment is the Never Have I Ever. So this is something that you have never done before. It's new to you.
Just a second, I have to shut that off. Sorry. Whoops. Sorry. There we go. Okay.
A new technique, it could be a new craft. Maybe you've never crocheted before and you want to try crocheting. Could be Tunisian crochet. Could be, maybe you've never knit a pair of socks before. Maybe you've never knit a hat before. So lots of different ideas for something that you can do that you have never done before, and you can stretch your skills and learn something new all at the same time and get to enter our make along.
Yes, absolutely.
So the only restrictions are you need to use a minimum of 50 grams of yarn, or if you're spinning, fleece, and there are no whips allowed. So this runs, it started February 1st and it runs until March 31st. So, and someone did email me. The thread wasn't up right at the beginning, but it is there now. I put it up, it's at least a couple of weeks now. So it is there now. And I do see that there's chatter in there and people are making things, and yeah, so fun to try something new.
Absolutely.
So, okay. So maybe we should move on to what we're wearing.
Sure.
Okay. Kelly, what are you wearing?
I am wearing the Heartwarmer Tee by Justina Lorkowska, and I just did the banner. There we go. I don't really have, for some reason, I don't have photos of the sweater. I have a photo of it hanging up in my bedroom so I will show you that just so you can see the detail of the sweater. It's a really detailed sweater, but it's very easy to do. It's, if you can knit and purl, you can make this sweater, but there's lots of little pattern changes throughout the sweater to keep your interest. And I really like the little bit of lace at the top, and then it moves into baubles. The baubles are, in my opinion, exactly where you would want baubles. They are above the booble line. So we can, hang on one second. Let me put the banner back down now. There we go. So yes, they are sort of above the booble line, and I like them, and they're not that big anyway, not that large of a bauble. I like the sweater. I made this in Sonder Sunday Morning 4-ply. The colorway is Free Spirit, one of my favorite colors by Sonder, and it looks different in every base, but I truly love it in this base. And it took like just a hair over 2 skeins. I think I had to do a few rows of ribbing, so it was like 2.04 skeins to do this. And I guess I should look back. I made a size large, whatever that translates into in the grand scheme of things. It is a crop sweater. Although I was looking at it tonight, so I went through a stage with the crop sweaters. I was wearing a lot of dresses. I found this winter I'm wearing less dresses and more pants, and I'm finding a lot of my sweaters now are just sort of, they're too short to wear with the pants. So I've been debating taking some sweaters apart that I have leftover yarn for and just knitting in a couple of more inches, because I think I would really, it's just the season I'm in my life, I think, right? Like we go through these phases, and I think that's just sort of where I am right now, is that I just getting more wear out of pants and jeans than I am out of my dresses.
Well,
and it could be that it was such a cold winter.
It was very cold this
exactly.
winter, yeah. So.
Yes. So I've been debating that idea, but then part of me says, yeah, but then if you want to crop
sweaters,
just knit new sweaters. I know, but then I feel like, ones like this one, I think this is the first time I've actually even worn this one this winter, and that's probably why, right? So
yeah.
Anyway, okay.
I would just knit more sweaters. I don't like taking things out and doing more to them after. I would rather just knit a new sweater.
Yeah, I don't like taking things apart either, and I really run out of stamina to do that. But again, like when I put this on tonight, I've got just actually like joggers on, and that's fine for around the house, but I'm probably not going to go out of my house in.
No, but I'm not saying it's not a good idea.
With joggers. Yeah.
It is a good idea. I just know myself, I probably won't do it.
But I really want to wear the sweater. And that's the thing.
I know.
I put the sweater on and I thought, oh, I really, really like this. And I love this color. And I feel like if it's not getting the love that I want to give it, then maybe I should modify it just to make it something that I get more wear out of it.
For me, for the most part, my knitting is strictly, I am very much a process knitter. And it's like, so that process I do not enjoy. Going back and
yeah, I agree. I don't either, but okay. And what are you wearing?
I am wearing the Florence sweater. So this is a pattern by Eleanor Mortensen. Just a minute, I'll bring up the banner here. And this is done in Cascade 220 Sport, which is 100% Peruvian wool. Colorway is Walnut Heather. And then the yoke is, I just went blank.
Junction Fiber Mills. It's Junction Fiber Mill.
Junction Fiber Mills making tracks light. Yes. So it's Junction Fiber Mills making tracks light. So for the sport weight, the Cascade sport weight, I wrote it down here how much I used. 5.3 skeins, and they are 50-gram skeins. And then for the other one, the making tracks, it was the zinnia colorway, and I used, I think it was 1.12 skeins. So I did do a little bit of color management. I've got a couple of pictures here. Okay, so I did do some color management because you can see it kind of starts off light, it goes to the pink, and then I kind of wanted to bring that corally orangey color back in. So I did wind off some of the yarn in the middle of in the second skein. And then as far as the color work that's in the body of that sweater, in the actual pattern, those little flower motifs are actually all in straight lines. I didn't want mine in straight lines, so I just staggered them. I did the smallest size of the sweater, which finishes 38.1 inches. I'm pretty much exactly on gauge. I used a 3.75 millimeter needle, and I measured my gauge finished in the sweater. It's 23 stitches for 4 inches, which is exactly the pattern gauge. And I did not switch needles from the yoke of the sweater going down into the body of the sweater. And I've got just a couple more pictures here. It's a wonderful sweater to knit. It's very engaging. It's lovely seeing the color changing yarn. Their yarn is really nice to work with. Now the Making Tracks Light, it is a similar yarn to Spin Cycle. The difference being that the Making Tracks Light is a non-superwash yarn, whereas Spin Cycle is a superwash yarn. So you get a little bit more grippy here when you're doing color work with it. They have gorgeous colorways. And this Cascade 220 Sport is an amazing yarn for the price point. Like, we can't understand why
we can't understand why we can't get it in Canada. I think Carrie actually found one distributor in Canada, but I don't understand why everybody who's selling Cascade yarn in the yarn stores is not stocking this, because it has so many beautiful colors. Yeah. And because I've just started on my Florence sweater as well. And it's lovely, lovely to knit with, and not just to knit with, but like, especially for color work. It's so toothy, and it's this is a really good color work experience that I'm having.
Yes. And the yarn, when it's blocked too, feels really nice. Like it does really bloom. So it's a Peruvian Highland wool. And I mean, it comes in gorgeous colors. They've got kind of solid shades. They've got heathery shades. It knits to a sport weight gauge, but I think the amount of yardage that you get is close to what fingering weight is. So anyway, both yarns were a pleasure to knit with. So, okay. So we will move on to finished objects. So Kelly, do you have any finished objects?
I do. I have only one.
Okay. I have 4. Okay. So
go ahead.
Okay. So my first finished object is my Apricity socks. So this is a pattern by Summer Lee, and
I feel like your finishes are going to be my whips.
Oh, okay. Okay. So anyway, this is the Apricity socks by Summer Lee. So I did mine with West Yorkshire Spinners Sparkle 4-ply in the colorway Mulled Wine. I believe that was their Christmas color for this year. And then my contrast yarn, you can see there, it's kind of fuzzy. It's Poppies, Pom-Poms, Land Cloud Fingering, which is an 40% merino, 60% Samoyed yarn. So it's a 1-ply, but it's so fluffy. When you actually are knitting with the yarn, it doesn't look like that. It's that fluffy, but then when you get it into the pattern, it's you really see the haze in it. So I do have a couple of pictures. So you can see that the flower pattern goes down the front of the foot. And then she's got also nice columns going down the sides. And you can see there's kind of like a diamond motif. She's got an afterthought heel, which I have cut in after 4 pattern repeats of the flower motif. So that was one thing we talked about last time about in the pattern. It actually tells you to break it in one of those flowers, which I think looked okay too. I did see some people that did that, but I kind of like the break after the whole flower motif.
Yes.
So mine worked out to 4 flower motifs down to the heel and then another 4 flower motifs down to the heel of the sock. But it's a great pattern. It's well written. I did just a little tiny bit of a pop of the Land Cloud Fingering up at the top before I started into the rib. I do believe the pattern was a 1x1 rib. I did mine twisted, and I just did the afterthought heel the way she called in the pattern, where you actually knit in waste yarn, which is not usually the way that I do it. So I just knit in waste yarn. Now I wanted to finish a whole motif before I got down to the toe. So by the time I got down there, it was a little bit long for me. So I just did a shorter version of the rounded toe so that the sock wouldn't be too long.
It's really interesting how different the same sock came out for both of us. I have 7 motifs
altogether.
You have
and I have 8, and yet my socks are smaller than your socks.
Yes, and mine are like a lady's 8, and yours are what, a child's
6.
4?
No, a child's 4 is a lady's 6.
Still, but okay, that's what I'm saying. I just can't wrap my head around that. I should have, when we were at the coffee shop on Saturday, I should have grabbed one of yours and held it up, because mine are quite long too. Like I did, but I only did 3 repeats on the leg before the heel. I used a 2.25 for the rib, the heel, and the toe, and I used a 2.5 for the color work. And I used a 2.75 for the leg and a 2.5 for the foot.
A 2.75 or a 2.5? I used a 2.5
for the foot.
Okay.
And 2.75.
Okay.
Should I just show mine since we're talking about it anyway? It doesn't matter if it's just a whip. So here's one of mine right there. And I used the Drops Nord yarn. So here's 2.25, 2.75 here, 2.25, 2.5 on the foot. And then I just did the regular rounded toe. I also did the waste yarn cut in forethought, afterthought heel. I've never done that before. So that's a never have I ever.
No, have I? Yes, I have.
I never have. I have. So that was interesting to do as well. And I had also thought that the 2.75 was going to be too loose for the leg. But I thought, no, I'm going to trust the process and I'm just going to dive in and do it. And you know what? It actually is a really good fit. 2.75 is looser than any sock needle that I would use. Like usually, even for an all over color work, I know when I did Natalie's socks, I only used a 2.5. However, Natalie had more stitches in her sock. This is like for my size, which I guess was the medium. So it's 64 stitches. Yeah. So I thought, well, I better just trust the process, and I'm going to go with the 2.75. And it did work. It really did work. But this, I love this yarn too. So Tracy says, our friend Tracy says that this is hands down her favorite sock yarn. I don't know if it's my favorite because I don't know how well this is going to wear, but it is the Drops Nord, and it is 45% alpaca, 25% wool, and then 30% nylon. And it comes in a beautiful range of colors. Like this, this one, for instance, has like this gorgeous blue and green in it. And I'm loving it. And then I paired it with, I think this one is called Deep Ocean. And then I paired it with Blush. Yeah. And I do think it is a little bit thicker than a regular sock yarn. I think it is too. And actually, just have a look here. What do we have for meterage? We have 186 yards in 50 grams. So yes, so you're less than 400. Yeah, you're less than. Yeah, because normally you have 231 in a 50 grams. So this is definitely a little bit thicker. I guess that's how we ended up with different yardage. But it's still kind of, I guess, blows my mind that. So yes, if I had been using maybe what I would call a traditional true sock yarn, the 2.75 might have come in really handy for the leg, but this is, it's good. It's really good. And it's not so thick that I can't just wear it in regular, like my Blundstones or something like that. But I really like that pattern. I think it's a really pretty pattern. And it's fun to knit, and it's pretty intuitive once you get into it. So yes. And I have cast the other one on just so you can see that I'm actively whipping. I'm not that far in it, but I've got, I guess, a repeat and a half done on it so far. But it was really an enjoyable pattern to do. And okay. Sorry to hop on there into your echoes, but go ahead. Makes sense to talk about it at the same time. Okay. So my next finish is beanie number 6 by My Favorite Things. And here it is. That's so fun. It was fun. And this is a never have I ever for me, because this I-cord, like when you're knitting the hat, you kind of do a purl stitch in there, and then you have to go along and you have to attach that I-cord all the way around to that purl bump, like going up and across. And then like you've got at the crown of the hat, it goes like you do one side and then the other side. So I had not ever done that before. Like I've done I-cords, but I haven't done it where you're actually attaching it and going around. But I really like it. It looks so warm. It is. It is. I mean, it's too warm to wear it right now, but when it was all those really cold days, it was good to have it. So I'm just going to show you a couple of pictures here. So, and that was pretty cold outside that day with only a shirt on. I should have had a coat on, but anyway, I had to get the pictures. And there's just a picture of kind of how it looks at the side. So the yarns for this are wool stock. Is it wool stock? Yes, wool stock Flet Bulky. And the Flet Bulky is a bulky weight yarn. It comes in 100 grams. It is their Ultimate Merino, which is a 17.5 micron. So super, super soft. So this part down here, this brim is triple that. So you knit like this big long tube essentially. Okay. And then this is your reverse stocking stitch side that's out. So then it kind of gets sewn down. Then you pick up stitches, or you continue with this is a DK weight yarn held double. This is a yarn that Jacqueline gave me, and I believe that it is Madeline Tosh DK, but I'm not positive. But I believe that it's Madeline Tosh DK, and it's held double. So then you finish the brim. Now the difference that I did the second size in the hat, but when I got into here, I did the length of the third size. And then when I got to the crown, they took it right to where you had a very, very few stitches left and it looked kind of pointy. So I ripped back and just did my yarn through and pulled it tight sooner than that so that you got a more rounded shape at the top. So I used 90 grams of the
the flat bulky. And this is yarn that I got at the Knitting Loft in Toronto. So I used 90 grams of that. And then of the Madeline Tosh, I used, thought I wrote it down here. I didn't. Sorry, it's in my, it will be linked in the show notes, and it is in my Ravelry page, but it wasn't a whole skein or anything. And you do hold the DK weight double. And this is done on a 4.5 millimeter needle. So it's pretty tight when you're knitting it. So
I bet. Is it hard to work with? Like, I have a skein of it too.
do you? Yeah. No.
I've had it for a couple of years and I haven't done anything with it.
Now they have flat and flat bulky. Is it the flat bulky?
Flat bulky. Yes.
Yeah, because they do have the flat too in the regular, and it's a beautiful yarn too. It's not an inexpensive yarn,
it's like
but it really does
soft. It's really lovely.
It is. So anyways, I had 10 grams left. So I went back to my, I just dropped them, but anyways, I can just show you one. I went back to my arched gusset mittens, and I just added a little I-cord edge around the bottom of it, just to use that up, make it match the hat. So in these ones, I used the Madeline Tosh DK, but I held it with a strand of silk mohair. So they were done, and you can see they're the arched gusset. They fit really nicely. This is a Pearl Soho pattern, but I just wanted to make them match. So I just took the leftover and went around the cuff. And then you can also just I sometimes just put it on like that, turn the cuff up, and you've just got those cute little. It's cute. And it was a good way to use up the rest of the yarn. And someone asked if it was fluffy on the inside. This is what the inside of the hat looks like. So your brim
I would like that. That would be so cozy on your head.
Yeah, your brim is tripled, and then you don't even see this on the inside. So yes, Leanne, you could make little Uggs. That would be cute. I only have like about maybe this much length left, but yeah. It was fun. I had that one skein of yarn. I didn't know what to do with it. And I saw that hat and I liked it and looked through. And that's the beauty of Ravelry. I looked and saw that people had actually used that yarn to do it. So it was an impulse cast on.
Very nice.
Okay. You go ahead.
Okay. So I finished my travel project when we went to Saint Martin a few weeks ago. I cast these on the airplane, and I finished the one while we were there. I had gotten a really good start on it. And then I cast the second one on to come home with, and I got a really good portion of it done on the day of travel as well. But I did get them finished this week. So I have two of them. I again went in and I used the forethought afterthought heel. Okay. I stitched in the waist yarn because I thought, you know what, this really is an ideal way to handle your heels if you are on a plane or if you are traveling. Because normally if I were doing an afterthought heel, I probably would have put the cord in, or I might have put in waist yarn that I was going to cut out after. And it all seemed like there would be like a lot of things going on for me to work with on a plane. And this way, just to have a little strip of yarn and knit that in and then just carry on.
Easy, yeah.
It was basically just tube knitting. And so I used the Knit Picks Felici. This is the colorway Coffee Break.
That's a pretty colorway.
I have those suede Boston clogs, and I thought I don't have many things that are kind of like a beige or a brown sock. And I really like this colorway. And then the cuffs are the Knit Picks Stroll, and that is the Grizzly Heather. And so there is a pattern, and I'm sorry I don't know the name of it. I will make sure I reference it in my notes on Ravelry. There is somebody that had a recipe basically on how to do this slip stitch, and so I did read it, but that's basically all I got out of the pattern. She recommended like a different cuff, a different type heel, different toe. So I just looked at her explanation of how she felt the slip stitches work. And so since it is free, I can basically tell you is that every time I got to a color change, as soon as that color change started, I would just slip one, knit one, slip one, knit one, all the way around until I got back to that spot. And then I just carried on knitting with the new color. So what that gives you in essence is, you can see just that little bit of an extra detail, just something different to do with self-stripe. We all have self-striping yarns that we use for sock. We all do. And we're constantly, as much as we love the self-striping yarns, we're always thinking, well, what can I do to zhuzh it up a little bit, right? And I just thought, okay, this is just one more way to do something that's a little bit different, but, you know, still basically mindless that I can handle without a pattern, because everything that I was working on just before I got ready to travel was actually something that I needed a pattern for. I didn't have anything like on needles. That was just something small to pick up and go. So I pulled these out the night before and I thought, I'm going to use this up. I've had this in deep stash for so long, and it's just a really good way. So I didn't even use, they come in 50-gram balls. I probably have about 40 grams left of the second one. So you don't use very much. And I have a whole bin of the stroll solids. So yeah.
You could use that technique too. You could actually like use a self-striping yarn and do a muscle burr hat and use that technique.
Actually, you could. That would be a great idea too. That would be cool. That would be a really good idea. Just, or for anything. Like honestly, it's good. And I will say too, I got better at the afterthought heel. So I'll show you the up close and ugly on my first one, because it's not great, but I'll show it off. So you see that corner? Wasn't happy with that corner at all. And this one also not thrilled with. So I thought I must be doing something different, because lots of people use this technique. So I actually went onto YouTube and looked at a couple of videos on how people were getting cleaner finishes on this waste yarn heel. And I think I dialed it in. So I'll show you my next one, because this one is a whole lot better. Look at that. That one's pretty good. And then here's the other side of that same sock. Also pretty good. So I think I've kind of got myself down into a routine. I will show you one other mistake I made on this one though too. Look at that. Do you notice one heel is longer? Do you know what I forgot to do? You can tell. Look at that. You can definitely tell.
Well, you can a little bit, yeah.
This one is longer, right? And normally when I'm doing the afterthought heel, as per your instruction on how to get a deeper instep, I knit 5 rows plain. And the first sock, completely forgot that I do that. And the thought came back to me by the time I did the second sock. And I'm just going along, doing my thing. And then I thought, that doesn't quite look the same. Am I going to take it out? No, I'm not taking it out.
Okay, can you feel the difference when you put them on?
I don't know. I don't think so. I might have tried one of them on. I don't know.
Oh, you haven't tried them both on at the same time yet?
No, I don't think so. But I did block them. Yeah. I did block them, because here's the thing. You know, when you block a sock, I know
it makes a difference. Well, it makes a difference for showing them. It doesn't make a difference to putting them on your feet.
No, but like, look at that. Look at that lovely, just nice flat laying sock. How nice that is, right? It's just, there's something special about seeing a block sock. And I don't know. Plus they smell really good too, because I use the soak and I really like the smell. And I know that this will go away after I wear them the first time. It doesn't matter. But the first time I like to block the socks. I just get a little thrill out of that. But
I always block all the ones that I give away at Christmas, right? Because then they fold up nice and neat to package them. And
so I also realized, so I haven't photographed these yet. And I have a basket upstairs now that has probably 6 pairs of socks that need to be photographed and updated on my Ravelry page. And I had done 3 pairs out of them that I did quite a while ago. And you know what? I went on to my camera. So I think I took the picture and then I was going in to like clean things up. I've deleted those pictures. So now I have to go back in and redo those. So those will be coming soon. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see an update, and you may be thinking, gosh, they look just like a pair of socks she did last year. Yes, they are, friends. They are the socks I did last year. I'm just tardy on my updates, but that's okay. They're going to get done.
Okay.
That's my only FO.
Okay. My next FO is my Turtle Dove sweater by Sorry Nordland. And it is right here. And it's finished.
It looks so
hard
good
to show it all in the picture, but if I hold it up close, you can see there's little flecks of the more hot pink in this pale pink color. So this is done in the main yarn is it, did we say it was Camellia?
Camellia Fiber Co.
Camellia Fiber Co. And it is her Sylvan fingering, which is silk, alpaca, and cashmere. And it's amazing. And the colorway is Love Camellia, which is a special colorway that she did for breast cancer research. And it is held with Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair in the colorway Ballerina. So I think the size 2, because we talked about that before, where it was difficult to choose what the pattern size was because the pattern is contradictory in the empirical size versus the metric size. So as far as I know, I did size 2. I do have a couple of pictures here so you can kind of see the whole sweater. So it feels amazing and I love it. I loved knitting it. I got to the point where I memorized the pattern, so I didn't even have to have a pattern with me to do it. So it made it a really enjoyable knit. I did do some yarn. I didn't do helical, but I did switch out yarns because some of the skeins of the camellia fiber looked like they maybe had a little bit more of the pink in them. So I did alternate skeins, but I alternated them at a point in the pattern, because when you've got a pattern that have got this musk texture, you can actually alternate at the beginning of a texture and you won't see it, but you really can't do, it's pretty hard to do helical knitting when you've got an all over pattern like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is the camellia. So this skein I have left, it was one that I didn't use because it had quite a bit more pink and that didn't match the others. Now, some of the modifications that I made in this sweater, it does have a folded over neck, but I did twisted rib in the neck. And then down at the bottom, I don't like my rib to cinch in. So what I did when I got to the rib at the bottom, I actually increased stitches, but I made sure that I increased them so it didn't interfere with the pattern
with your
going
patterns,
into the rib. So anywhere that had like a knit one, because there are a lot of twisted stitches in this, I wanted to make sure that flowed down into the body or the ribbing of the sweater.
Right.
So I increased probably about, I looked it up. I think it was Patty Lyons. And she was talking about that. And if you want that, because I like the look of the rib on the tighter needles, you get a nice, tight, even rib, but I don't want it to cinch in. So you can go down to your smaller needle, but I increased about 10% of my stitches. Okay. And I didn't want my sleeves to cinch in on this one either, because I mean, I do like tighter sleeves, but I know that the style right now is for your sleeves to be looser. So this is really not a sweater I'm going to be wearing when I'm just cooking and whatever in the house anyway. So I thought I wanted the sleeves basically to stay the same. And that was another modification. I did no decreases in my sleeve.
Okay.
I just went all the way down. And so again, down here, I increased the number of stitches by about 10% before I went into the rib on the sleeve.
That's a good technique. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's all the modifications that I made. This pattern does have some nice details, like when you go down the side. Let me just hold this out here. You can see it's got like kind of a nice twisted stitch detail that goes down all the side. It also goes down your arm. So if you were decreasing stitches, and the pattern does call for decreased stitches, you would actually be decreasing them in this moss
in that basket weave section,
that. Yeah. So, other than the discrepancy in picking a size at the beginning, for the most part, the pattern was. Now, some people did say that in the sleeve. So you can see here in the sleeve, you've got this rib that goes down here. While in the sleeve, it doesn't have a purl stitch in the middle of it. That same cable that goes down the two sides on the front actually has a purl stitch in the middle of it. And to me, one was on the sleeve, one was on the body. It didn't bother me that much. So I just did the way the pattern said. But I know some people did do that extra increase in the sleeve to get that extra stitch in the middle of the cable. But honestly, when it's done and you're wearing it, I don't think you really notice that anyway. So, but yeah, so I'm happy.
It looks really good.
It's all done, and be a sweater for Knit City, Toronto, if it's cold enough to wear it.
Yeah, if big if.
So yeah, but I did really enjoy the knitting of it. Those two yarns held together, felt amazing. And like I said, once I got into the routine of the pattern, it was fun to knit because I know I get bored doing stocking stitch. So
You could always do a turtle dove, the scarf with your remaining skein.
I know. I have enough. I
And
thought about it. I
then,
might.
you know, like in the wintertime when it is cold enough to wear,
Yes.
then you could just tie that up around your neck as
Yep.
like keep your neck warm too. But
yep.
Or you could
really did enjoy the pattern.
Switch it up and hold it with a bit of a pinker mohair.
Yeah.
And get a different look.
Yep.
Yeah, because
I still have enough mohair left. Yeah, it's. I just love the whole pattern.
Yes,
the way the pattern goes and the. But okay,
Nini is saying that she would recommend the camellia yarn to anyone who hasn't tried it. I used their yak last month when I made those socks and their mohair as well, and it every minute of knitting those socks was a real joy. The yarn feels lovely. They are also in that basket to be photographed.
Yes, that yarn blocked beautifully too, because I was a little bit worried about stretching, and I did measure the finished sweater, and it basically matches what the size 2 in the pattern was. So because you just never know with a lot of alpaca, you can get a lot of drape. Now I was careful with it. I'm not picking it up like this to let it drip or anything, right? I've got my Struck-It bucket, so you can pick it up, let it drain, and then kind of push out a lot of the water out of it. So, okay. I have one more finish. And these are just like the cutest things ever. Okay. So these are the mini teddy slippers by Frida Rayberg.
Oh my gosh.
Look at these. Are they just not like, they are just so freaking cute.
They are adorable.
They've got little soles. So these are done in the brownish colored yarn is actually the mini skein that we were given by one of our friends at Christmas.
Okay.
Heather. So she dyed it. I don't know what color it is. I think she dyes it with natural dyes, but it was just the perfect color for little boots like this. And then this other yarn is this yarn here, which is Ashford Merino Boucle, which unfortunately they no longer make, but it's a fingering weight. Well, they actually call it a sport weight. It's a sport weight boucle yarn. So what I did was I held this double, and actually the fingering yarn is also held double. So it takes a 20-gram mini, basically. So if you've got a 20-gram fingering mini held double, we'll basically do, these are the smallest size. I bought the Teddy mini, and those are the baby ones, but it also goes up. There's also an adult size. I actually think the Teddy mini actually goes up to like almost a kid size that might fit me. And then there's the adult.
Oh, really? They're adorable.
So it only took 5 grams of this alpaca or this merino boucle held double, and then the other held double. So these are actually because Declan is going to have a new little brother in a couple of months. So these are little slippers for grandchild number 8. So pretty exciting. But anyway, I just couldn't resist. They're so cute. Maybe I have to make Declan a matching pair.
I might need to steal some of that from you, Nina, a pair.
It's so cute. So
it's adorable.
Now on the, I did go like the actual yarns that the pattern calls for are,
or is that available?
The alpaca boucle by Sandnit's Garn, not Sandnit's Garn, by Drops, which I've never tried before.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that. So I thought, wow, I might, because for an adult pair, I might have to get the alpaca boucle.
Absolutely. Those are so cute.
But yeah, they're really cute. So, okay. That's it for finishes. So Kelly, do you have any works in progress?
I do. I've got, I got here 1, 2, 3. I've got 3 sitting here.
Okay. I have 5. So why don't I start with the one and then we can start the draw.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So, as I've said before, what did I say before? My mind's gone.
You're doing blank. Nancy Wheeler's socks for the year.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. So I am doing Nancy Wheeler socks for the year. Good thing you remembered. Anyway, I'm picking a different pattern every week. I've got 12 adult pairs that I have to knit. So I'm going to go do a different Nancy Wheeler pair for the whole of the year. So I've got 2 pairs done already. So I'm on to March. So for March, I am actually going to do, and Kelly, you've already done these ones. I am going to do the Mountains Edge socks.
Oh, I love that pattern.
Yeah. That's so this is for pattern. This is for one of the men in my life. Do I have
how many men do you have in your life?
Well, I have my husband and I have 4 sons and a son-in-law.
So it didn't sound that way when you said it.
And grandsons. These are the adult men in my life. So there's a picture of what the pattern looks like. So they've got kind of like these peaks that go up the center of the sock that kind of looks like a mountain. Mm-hmm. So I just started them, but the yarn that I picked out is a yarn by, what was the one that was in Sarnia? I should have written this down and I didn't. You know who I'm thinking of, don't you? It starts with a Z. It starts with a Z. Someone help us.
Sorry, can't remember.
Anyway, this is what it looks like. Okay, it's a
Zen Garden.
Almost
Zen Garden.
Yes, Zen Yarn Garden. Zen Yarn Garden. See, I knew it started with a Z. But anyways, so there, Julia, Sarah, thank you. Anyway, so this is their 90-10, which feels really nice. And that color is actually almost close to the color that you did yours in.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And so I'm going to do it, the base and the main part of the sock is going to be this. And then I think I'm going to do the heel and the toe in this.
Oh, that'll look good.
Really good together. And then for the coordinating woman's sock, I will do the base of the sock in this.
Yes.
So I'll pick one that's more textured and then I'll just put a little bit of this in maybe at the toe or the heel or something, or even just at the very, very top of the sock. Mm-hmm. So all I've got done so far is I've just started. So I've only got a bit of the ribbing done, which is a different ribbing. It's not strictly 2x2 and it's not 3x2. It's different because it all blends into the sock when you get into it.
It does. Yeah. It was really nice details. Yes. Nice details, the way it flowed into that cabled pattern in the sock. And I love those socks. I didn't use any contrast in mine. I did them all in Deborah's Yarn Indulgences bamboo sock. And I love them. They're so cozy. Really nice.
But there's the sock yarn is quite pretty. And I'm using my Flexi Flips, which our yarn group has decided for me should be called Flexi Whips.
Flexi Flings. Flexi Flings.
Flexi Flings. Because they're always dropping out of my hands when I'm at the end of a row or anyway. They do work though. And they are, if I work with them consistently, I don't tend to drop them. If I haven't worked with them for a while and then I pick them up to do it again, for the first little while, I'm always dropping one because I'm so used to the 2 16-inch ones.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So because Nancy was very generous and gave us patterns to give away while I'm doing this, we are actually going to give away a pattern tonight. So all you need to do is type in #socks. And then you will be able to contact us and I will give you a code and you will be able to go and pick one of Nancy's patterns. And for anybody that doesn't win or would really like to look at her patterns and look at what she's got available, Nancy's patterns are all on sale for 25% off. It's her Podiversary sale. She just has a new one that was just released either today or yesterday, I believe. It's in her column sock. She's got a new version of it. But all of her socks are on sale for 25% off until March 1st. So, and they're great patterns. They look more complicated than they are. They've got excellent details. She's got tutorials to go along with them. And you can't go wrong doing a pair of Nancy socks. So,
I like to say they make you look good as a sock knitter because they always look more detailed than they are. Somebody will look at them and go, wow, that's a lot of work. But Nancy is like a master at finding patterns that look complicated, but that are easy for you to remember and easy just to carry with you to continue working on.
Yep. Okay. Well, maybe we'll talk about a few more of our whips and let that run for a bit and then we'll do that. Okay.
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 So
remember, you only have to type in once because the program disregards any Any second typers.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so I have been working on these. This is a fingerless mitten pattern, and I have banner here. This is the Ridge Trail Fingerless Mittens by Jenny Gillard, who is Honeybird Studios. And I actually bought yarn for this when I was in Chilliwack, but then it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. And then Leanne posted that she had used the actual yarn that Jenny recommended using, and I was smitten. And I said, that's it. So I promptly ordered some drops Nepal, and that's it right there. It is considered, it's a 65% wool, 35% alpaca. There's 82 yards in it. So I'm guessing, like, I think this is a little bit more than an Aran weight. Yeah, it's definitely more than a worsted. But anyway, I've got the first one, so close to being done. Oh, excuse me. I feel a sneeze coming on, but I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I've been sneezing up a storm lately. But anyway, here's the first one, almost done. Great. I only have a couple of more inches or a couple of more rows on the ribbing to do. And then, of course, we have a thumb. But look at that pattern. And it isn't just ribbing in here. This is actually like you do some slip stitches, and it's nice and high on my wrist too. So it's going to be cozy. And I did do just a tiny little bit of extra. I think she recommended a certain number of rows, and I did 4 extra rows in here because, well, my hands are long, but also I like it to almost cover my pinky, right? That's where I like a fingerless mitt to go to. And I love this color. It's so soft, so lush. This is a size small that I'm doing. So it's only like 48 stitches at its widest part. And it's on a 3.75 needle, I think. So I did it on a 9-inch circular because that's how I roll. Yes, 3.75. And then I was supposed to do the ribbing on a 3.5, and apparently I don't have a 3.5 9-inch. So I'm doing that on a 3.25, and it worked out just fine. I did flip the ribbing too, because it's a 1x1 ribbing. So I did flip it so that I have more definition in my cuff. I'm not flipping it up here. I'm okay with that. But I like the little details, like how this rolls right into her ribbing. It's all incorporated top to bottom. Very nice little details. She's lovely too. I met her when I was in Chilliwack over Christmas, and she's got a lot of really beautiful patterns as well. You can check her out, but these I'm really happy with. And I mean, there's lots of other yarns that you could use it for, but she specifically recommended that. And like I said, after I saw Leanne's, I just ordered it. So I ordered
how much yarn did that take?
I don't know yet, but I still have this left from one. Like one would not do a pair.
Okay. That's
definitely have to have 2. But the Drops Nepal is also incredibly reasonably priced. But the yarn that I had bought 2 to like hold together, and I just wasn't getting, number one, the stitch definition or the gauge really. So I just like this one. Her pattern looks so good. I actually have, I think it's still in here too, maybe.
I think there was a picture of it in there. Yep.
Yeah. So I think that's actually the Drops Nepal blush, because a lot of the Drops colors are the same. And that looks like what I've used in my Apricity socks. And then and she's got sort of a trio there of different colors. So I am looking forward to getting these done. And it's quick. It's a quick knit. I have no reason not to be done it, but I just cast this on the other day, and I haven't had a lot of knitting time this week for sure. But anyway, it's a really fun pattern. So highly recommend that one.
Okay. So Leanne said she did size B and used 1.32 skeins.
Okay.
So yeah, even for a smaller size, I would doubt that you would get it out of.
No, I mean, if you had, you might be able to if you wanted to do some contrast color in your cuff or something, but I don't think you could get it out of 1. And I'm pretty sure she recommends, I think the pattern calls for 2 skeins too. So.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to, you don't want to get,
you don't want to run short
partway through your second one and then find out that you don't have enough to finish it. So
Exactly.
Someone had asked what you mean by flipping the ribbing.
Okay, so Noelle's been doing this lately too, and it's when you knit 1 by 1 ribbing, oftentimes you'll notice that the back side of your ribbing looks better than the front side. So this would have been my front side of my ribbing, and it looks okay, but
looks good. Yep.
It's just a little muddy, right? I guess we could call it that. Like, it's not the rows that are the knit rows are not as crisp, but then the back of the ribbing, this is what the back side looks like. And like that looks very nice and very sharp, right? So basically what I do, you just knit your ribbing as per usual. But then when you're done, you have to do like a German short row to reverse and go the other way. So then you would like flip your ribbing in the other direction and you short row on that row, and then you just take off knitting. So it's an easy little trick to do. And I actually used it again, even in the sweater that I cast on, because for a long time, I would tend to avoid a knit one, purl one, because I didn't ever think it looked the cleanest. And Noelle's exactly right. The back side of it always ends up looking better. And so it's easy enough to do a German short row and flip that and go in the opposite direction. And it doesn't, like, there's no hole, there's not anything. It just gives you a cleaner looking ribbing if that's your jam. And if you are happy with your knit one, purl one, that's great. I don't know why mine doesn't look the best. The inside always looks better than the outside. And so typically I switch things. Like I would do like a 2x2 on a sock or something like that. I usually don't do that 1 by 1, but I'm going to start using that tip more regularly and enjoy diving in and enjoying that knit one, purl one.
Lisa asked, why does it happen? From what I've read, the reason that it happens is because a knit stitch and a purl stitch take different amounts of yarn. Mm-hmm. I think the purl stitch maybe takes a little bit more. So I'm not sure exactly why. I know that that's the reason. I'm not sure why one side looks better, but I think it's just the way it lines up. Because if you turn it, then the stitches that you're actually seeing are the purl stitches from the other side, correct?
Yes.
So, but that's why it happens. So some people get around that by using combination knitting, where you're changing the mount on the stitches, but that's pretty complicated. Doing it this way just lets you knit your rib the way you would normally knit it, and then just doing one short row turns it so that you've got the nicer looking side as your right side of your fabric.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
But that's why most of the time I do a twisted rib. Because a twisted rib, and I say a twisted rib, but really when I do it in the round, it's really a half twisted rib, because you're twisting, you're not just twisting, you're twisting the knit stitches, but
not the purl stitches.
Not the purl stitches. So if you go to do a twisted rib on a straight piece of fabric, you have to do like knit one through the back loop, purl one across. But when you turn and you're on the wrong side of that fabric, you have to twist the purl stitches and knit the knit stitches regularly. So, and actually, if you're doing a knit one, purl one rib on a flat piece of fabric, you won't get the same result as when you're doing it in the round, because you are knitting and purling on top of each stitch. Mm-hmm. Right? So your knit one, purl one rib for just a straight piece of fabric is not going to look the same as a knit one, purl one for a round fabric and in the round fabric. So.
Mm-hmm. And Leanne says, if you're looking for a little tutorial, she said, Tash of Mostly Knitting podcast does a little tutorial on flipping your ribbing. And it is a really good trick too. Yeah. Also, we had this comment here. It is, because you tend to pull the stitches a little on the side that you were knitting on. That could be one of the reasons too for getting a difference on one side.
Yeah.
And so, and something that I'll reference it back when you carry on. I'll reference back to it. Just on the sweater that I cast on, I actually flipped it twice, but I'll show you that when I get to it. Okay,
so my next work in progress is my Daily Work Socks. This is a pattern by Leo and Roxy. It's actually Pam, who works there, actually designed the sock for Leo and Roxy. And I believe I do have a picture. Okay, so they've done it in like a variegated yarn and then paired it with a cream colored solid and then picked out a color out of the variegated yarn for a little bit of contrast. So the ones that I'm doing, I'm using their, I guess almost like their store color, because this is called wallpaper. So it's kind of, the inspiration was the wallpaper that you see when you walk into Little Red Mitten. So that is the main color. One sock is completely finished. So you can see it's got the wallpaper color. The cream color is called Leo. The contrast that they've used in this is called Peony. And then it is you start off with a 2x2 rib, but then it goes into a 3x1 rib, which makes for a really nice fitting sock. And then the second sock I've got down to the heel, and it's got a heel flap and gusset. So I finished the heel flap and gusset on it. So these are a sample that I'm knitting for them for Knit City Toronto. They will be in Knit City Toronto. I don't know if they're going to have it all in one booth, but both Leo and Roxy and Little Red Mitten are actually going to be at Knit City Toronto. So I am working away on those, and hopefully by the time we podcast next, I will have those finished because I have to start another sample for them. So, and there's just so many things I want to cast on. It's hard to stay focused.
Yeah. So there's a question here. I haven't heard of this one. A kite heel.
I've done it. I've done a pattern with it. Okay. Yep. And it was quite nice. Yep. It was, I don't know. This pattern, I think, was called, I'd have to go back and look. I'll go back and look and I'll put it in the show notes, but it was a pattern that I did that actually was called, I think, something with that in it. So,
okay.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting to do it. And the one that I did was in like, it was basically the sock was like a knit 2 purl 2 all over it, but I will go in and I will link that pattern. So,
Okay. So the next thing that I'm working on is my Florence sweater. And there's a group of us that want to wear these at Knit City. So I had some challenges with mine though. And it's funny, Noelle was saying, aren't you taking it with you when you went away? And I said, no, it's too big to knit on when I go away. It's too much. I guess I could have taken it to start, but I'm also knitting mine in the Cascade Sport in this color, which is a color change as of yesterday. I did have a very deep, dark purple, almost an eggplant purple that I had. This was the actual color that I wanted to buy at the store, and they didn't have enough skeins of it. They only had 4 skeins, and they're only 50-gram balls. And I'm pairing it with this one from Junction Fiber Mill.
That's so pretty.
Making Tracks Light.
Yeah.
And our friend Julia, who ordered yarn after we had gotten it that day, managed to get her hot little hands on quite a haul of this. And she so kindly offered that if I really wanted this, she would be happy to switch my skeins with a number of these skeins. And so yesterday there was great consternation over whether that was the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. And at the end of it, my heart of hearts, this was still the color that was calling to me. So thank you so much, Julia. So I cast this on yesterday at Julia's house, and I realized I didn't have the right needle. So I had to borrow Julia's needle. So then I had to finish the ribbing before I left, but I did. So here's what I have done on it.
Oh, that's pretty. That looks
so
good.
Far. And I'm really happy with it. The color work is a lot of fun to do.
It looks good. I like it is showing up really well. So,
but it's
that's
like
what we were kind of worried about.
We were worried. Now, okay, something that I will say, and maybe this is like way too detailed to talk about, but so with this yarn, if you look in tight on it, look sort of at, I can't show you the color because I've already used it up, but if we look right here, these colors here, you'll see they're teal, but they also have, it's like a gray that's twisted. So each one of these strands, it's like there are 2 colors twisted. And in some of them, the background color is a gray, but it's a smoky gray. In fact, one could go so far as to call it a lavender. So here's what I noticed when I was working on the color work a bit today, is that this color work which is two very different colors than the lavender, shows up more. But when I get into here, you can see that the twist color was a lavender gray, and that color is not as prominent against the lavender as I thought it was going to be in the skein, because my eye was only seeing the teal, but what you don't see is that the secondary color is the smoky gray. I'm still okay with that. I really, really like this, and I like that softer look for me instead of the deeper color. What I was really concerned about with the dark purple was that pink bit that's in it. I didn't think I was going to like the dark purple with the pink. So originally I was just going to cut the pink out of that ball altogether. But I am really happy with the way this is working out. I think I'm really going to like it. And so again, talking about this flipping the ribbing. So I know that Noelle did a twisted rib.
I did a twisted rib, yeah.
And I often will do a twisted rib as well, but I thought, no, this time I want to put that knit one, purl one to use. So I cast on the way it's suggested, which was just a regular long tail cast on. And then I did my rows of ribbing. But before I even did my rows of ribbing, I already switched my neckline, because I wanted, had I not switched the neckline, this would have been my cast on. This is what it would have looked like. It would have looked like that as a cast on edge, because I would be switching it around. So I cast on, and this was the cast on edge that I wanted, which was this one that kind of shows up, has like a little ridge, right? So I cast on, German short rowed, did my ribbing, and then German short rowed my way back again. So I'm getting the front of my cast on, the back of my knit one, purl one, and then the front of my stockinette again. So I actually did two flops to achieve what I wanted to achieve with this neckline. And I'm really happy with it. Really, really happy with it. But so yeah, I've got some knitting to do before Knit City for sure. But and the color, this colorway for the Making Tracks Light is called Alpenglow, and it is really a pretty color. I actually even ordered some new Adidas shoes today to go with this colorway. So they should be here tomorrow, and I'll see if I like that look too. But anyway, so that's a Knit City knit.
Okay, my next work in progress is a little shawl. So it is the Ebbs and Flows scarf by Jennifer Shields Toland. This is a pattern that just came out recently. And here's a picture of the pattern. So you can see that there's different variations of it. So you've got one that's more like a scarfette, and then you've got one that's more like a shawl. So and then within the pattern itself, there's also different variations that you can do. For instance, she's got one that's got that more pointy edge at the top, bottom and top of the scarf. She's got one that's more of like, it comes down like this, but then there's a little bit of a flat edge. And then there's also one that's actually just a scarf that has a horizontal edge across the bottom of the scarf. So I have had this yarn. Doesn't look like anything fancy when you hold it up, but I have had this yarn in my stash.
It feels like something fancy.
It does, since 2017. This is 100% lace weight Kiviot. This is yarn that I got at Belfast Mini Mills in Prince Edward Island, and I have 56 grams of it. So using it lace weight, you do have to hold it double. The original yarn that Jen called for in her pattern was Mayak baby yak lace, and you held it double. So I thought, okay, well, I had some Mayak baby lace weight, but I thought I've got enough of that to do a sweater, but I only had one skein of this. So this is what I've got. And this yarn is just unbelievable how soft it is. And like, look at the halo on that yarn with you knit with it.
Really, like you have to feel it to get the full effect.
So I am doing the pointy edge version, the more pointed edge version. And this pattern looks just as good on either side. So this is actually the right side of the pattern, but that's the wrong side of the pattern. It looks just as good as the right side. And this is just, it's a pleasure to knit. it's again, one of those patterns that looks way more complicated than it actually is. It's really fun. You don't need to have the pattern with you all the time. So I am weighing it because I want to use up all of that yarn. So, but it just feels, it's unbelievable. So if you can get your hands on any of it, do it. But
do it.
When we went there, I was actually there with Ross, and when we went there, they actually spin the yarn there. So they actually gave us these just little tiny balls of the down fluff, and you hold it in your hands and you can actually feel the heat radiating off it. So this is going to be a really good scarf to have to wear if the winters remain as cold as what they have this year. So, yes, and I'm really enjoying the knit. And I could see I really like that pattern. I could see doing the more shawl version of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really pretty. And it's so nice when a pattern like that looks good on the front and the back, because then you don't have to worry about when you tie it up getting the right sides to flip down so that you're not seeing the wrong side of a fabric. So, okay. Maybe before we go further, we should go in and pull our prize.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, so quick last little 10-minute thing. If you haven't already typed in #socks, we're going to draw it in just 10 seconds. So last chance. So remember, if you get this, you can email us at knitsandpiecespodcast@gmail.com, and I will give you a code to pick one of Nancy's patterns. So, and for anybody that doesn't win tonight, we will also have a pattern to give away. If you type in something over the next 2 weeks, then we will draw another pattern prize before we do the next podcast. We'll have to think of something that we want to ask, though, Kelly.
Okay.
But we'll draw this first.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
here we go. Okay, Phyllis. Okay, so Phyllis Burke. I don't know why it's only coming up if I do full screen. Sorry.
Okay, so Phyllis Burke, 4141. Okay, congratulations, Phyllis. So you can email us at knitsandpiecespodcast@gmail.com, and I will give you a code so that you can go in and you can pick one of Nancy's patterns, and hopefully you'll get them knit and you'll be able to enter them into our knit-along.
Yay.
So, yay. And thanks everybody for participating. And if you didn't win the pattern here, we will be giving one away. I will draw before the start of the next podcast. So why don't you go in and look at Nancy's patterns and tell us which one you think is your favorite?
Mm-hmm.
So, and just type
It'd
it
be hard
into
to narrow down to one pattern.
I know, but just type it down into the after this goes onto YouTube and is published, you can go in the comments, put in which one is your favorite, and we will draw before next podcast. And remember, she's also got 25% off until March 1st. And you will not be disappointed. Her patterns are great.
Mm-hmm.
So,
absolutely.
Okay. So Kelly, another whip.
Yes. So I'm still working on, and I'm really trying to remember if this is where I was last week or have I done more on them. So I apologize if I haven't because I can't remember. But these are the Canoe Socks by Carly Perrins. And so I'm through the heel, and I really don't know where I was last week, literally. But there we are. I know I definitely didn't have a sock blocker last week to show you. So at least there's that, or 2 weeks ago, because I was on vacation. So now you can actually see it in all its glory on a blocker. Those cables. Oh, those cables. They are.
The stitch definition in that yarn is really good.
It is really good. And it's such a good red. So this is the Lang Javol and superwash yarn. It comes with that little spoolie of extra strength thread that's in there. I did not use it. In truth, I sort of forgot I had it. I will use that though for something else, probably some embroidery or something like that. So it's not lost at all. But this pattern, this is a really good pattern. This was part of her camping series that she released in the fall. And I jumped on this pattern right away. and I really, really like it. I love these cables. They are just gorgeous. And this is one of those German yarns that actually does show really good stitch definition as well. And traditional heel flap and gusset. So it's going to be a really good fit. I know that. So maybe hopefully this week I'll get back onto these and get these finished up, because I'm really excited. I also like this. It's not a traditional ribbing at the top. It just goes right into that cable pattern. And I guess what you can't see on a sock blocker is actually how it would look from the front. Hang on one second. It's stuck on my blocker. So from the front, you get this look with the two cables coming at you like that. And it's got like a little bit of ribbon down the front. It's a really, really nice. And I especially like this little detail, how it goes into the heel at the back. It just looks really, really nice. So I'm excited to have these ones. And I will not felt these. I felted my last red ones. They were an alpaca blend, and I got a little rambunctious with washing one day, and they made it into the washer, and they came out and they were a little bit felted, but even after hand washing after that, they continued to felt. And so I'm definitely going to be more aware, but these ones will be fine though, because this is not an alpaca. So this will be a hard wearing, probably can throw it in the wash if I need it to. So, yeah.
Okay, so my next project is my Frankie Sweater Genzer by Sandin's Design. And I do have a picture. So this is a pattern that's in a book by Sandin's Garn, which I do not know. I don't know if the book's published anymore. They have now started just publishing their patterns individually. And I know that you have to buy the yarn to get the pattern. So this is kind of an oversized sweatshirty type sweater, but it has some neat details in it. Okay. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's like a compound raglan, but it's got different rates of where you increase. So you start out where you're increasing more in the body, like the front and the back of the sweater. And then when you get down to a certain point, then you're actually increasing more in the sleeve of the sweater. So I've got it done to the point where I've got the long rib at the bottom done, and I just trimmed it with a little bit of a contrast color, which was a DK weight yarn held with a mohair, because the main body of the yarn is this yarn here. It's called Big Bad Wool, and it is their Weepaca, which is 50% fine washable merino and 50% baby alpaca. There's 95 yards. So it's basically kind of almost like an Aran weight yarn. Mm-hmm. So this is knit on a 4.5 millimeter needle, but because of that alpaca content in it, like there's
very drapey.
Lots of drape. Yeah. So the sleeves, I've got one almost to the point. So in this case, like this sleeve is fairly wide. So when I get to the rib, I will bring the rib in a little bit. And because this sweater is a shorter sweater, I did bring the rib in because I think it's going to come just about to the waist. So mine's going to be different than the original one because I had to modify it quite a bit because the finished size of the smallest size was quite large and I didn't want that much positive ease in it. So I did have to kind of size the pattern down a bit and then adjust where I did my increases. So you can see, and this is even for me is going to be like a lower raglan depth than what I'm used to.
Right.
That's the style of the sweater. Because you can see after the raglan there's not a whole lot of body before you start into that like 5 inches of rib. So the sleeve again will have the long rib. So I'm almost at the point now where I'll be starting the rib on this first sleeve and I will trim it. Maybe. I don't know yet. I'll decide when I get there whether I'm going to trim it with the contrast color. I think that I will. And then I will also with the neck of the sweater. So this is going to be kind of like one of those sweatshirty sweaters that you can just throw on over a pair of jeans. And the yarn feels amazing.
Such a good color.
I love the color. The color is actually, weirdly enough, called mustard. Like it doesn't look like, it looks more like, to me, it's chartreuse.
Yes.
Like that.
Or like
that
kiwi.
Creamy,
yes.
Yeah. So anyway, that's hopefully will get done soon because it is on a 4.5 millimeter needle. I think it's an 18 stitch gauge. So it works up fairly quickly. So, Okay. Do you have any more whips? Okay. I have one more.
Okay.
So this one that I just started is, okay, it's the Freckles Bottom Up Cardigan by OGE Knitwear Designs. And I do have a picture. Okay, so this is like a little girl's cardigan. It's got like detail around the bottom with baubles and kind of leaves that look like a little bit of
very cute
flower bouquets in it. So I am doing this for Mackenzie. Her second birthday is coming up in March. So I am making this sweater for her. I am knitting it in Barocco Vintage Baby, which is basically the same composition as Barocco DK.
Mm-hmm.
This colorway is called Ballet Pink.
I think the only difference is the colorways. They have like a very pastel palette of colors for the DK, for the Barocco Vintage or Baby. Yes.
Yeah. So there's.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So far. It's so cute. It's so much fun to knit. So I am, okay, the pattern calls for a 3.5 millimeter needle for the main body, but I'm using a 4 because I know that I like the Barocco Vintage DK on a 4. I know what my gauge is on it. So my gauge is a little bit bigger, but that's fine. It's going to be perfect for a size 2. I've made a few modifications already. If I go back to the original pattern, the way she's got the button band, it's knit along with the sweater. I didn't want to do that simply because then I have to decide at that point where I'm going to put the buttonholes.
Right.
And I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet how long I want to make it. I'm not sure whether I want 5 buttons or 6 or 4. So if I don't do it till the end, I'll pick up for the buttonhole band and the button band, and then I can decide where I want to put my buttons. But if you do it like this, you kind of have to put the buttons as you go along. So I didn't want to do that. So I just subtracted those stitches off when I started. So obviously this is not knit in the round, it's knit back and forth, but I still did a half twisted rib, which means I had to twist it on this side and then twist the pearls on the back side. I did an alternating cable cast on, which also was not what the pattern called for. Then I didn't do her way of making baubles. I did my way. This is actually the same way that was done on the Turtle Dove, very similar to it. So I did them that way because I kind of liked how those baubles popped. And then for the size that I'm doing the size 12 to 18 months, but it's really going to turn out the size 2 because my gauge is bigger than what the project calls for. So in the pattern, it calls for another row of these before you go into it. And I thought, I don't want that. I want there to be a little bit of room between where those baubles end and where her armhole is.
Yes.
So I just went with the 3. And I kind of like the 3 because, I don't know, like multiples of 1, 3, 5 to me always look more balanced than an even number. So I went with that. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's a fun knit. I know Penelope and Mackenzie really, really like this light pink. So I'm probably going to have to make Penelope a light pink sweater too. And this yarn, I can't go on enough about this yarn, how much I like it for baby knits. So yeah, so that's fun. And then I got these are the little buttons that I'm going to put on it.
Oh, those are adorable.
They're little bunny rabbits, but they've got like pink in their ears. So I think that's going to look, and that's why these are bigger. So I wasn't sure how many of these I'm actually going to want to put on it, which is why I thought I would do the button band after. So, and that's it.
Very nice. Very nice. So cute.
So it's fun knitting little kid sweaters. They work up so fast.
Yes.
So, okay. So did you buy anything?
Just the drops, which you already saw for the, I ordered that while I was away and it was here waiting for me when I got home. Perfect.
Okay.
But now maybe I have to go in and order some of that boucle. I don't know.
Well, I have lots if you only need it for one.
Okay.
For one pair. So
then. Yeah.
Okay. I did. I bought that Barocco, the vintage baby, but I'm also going to do my son a sweater for his birthday. And I went and I got the yarn for that. So his sweater is an all over color work. It is a drops design. I didn't put a picture of it in here, but I did buy the yarn for it. So these are the colors that I'm going to be using for his. His favorite color is green, This is the Barocco Vintage. So this is the worsted weight. This is the colorway Spruce. And Barocco's putting the colorway names on their labels now.
Oh, yay. Yay.
Yes, so that's going to be the main color. And then this one must be an older one because it doesn't have it, but I can't remember. It's just like, I don't know. It'll be in the, the pattern page when I start it, but it's just a cream. So yeah, it's an all over kind of Nordic design, and it is worsted weight. So hopefully it'll knit up fairly quickly. His birthday is April 7th. So I probably should
Chicken on that.
I should, because I can't, he keeps asking me, so I can't do any of the other adults a sweater before I finish his. So
that's right.
And that's all I bought. And those don't count because they're not for me. Those are for, if you buy yarn and it's for a gift.
That's right. Count. It's not part of your stash.
Not stash. I'm not going into stash. I'm knitting it.
That's right. So, absolutely.
Anyway.
Okay. Well, that was a lot. We had a lot.
That was a
See,
lot.
This is the thing though. If we're here only every 2 weeks, be prepared for longer shows. So feel free to like split it in half, watch it over 2 days.
That's right.
It doesn't offend us. We're okay with that.
Yep. So, yeah. So, so Kelly and I are busy knitting, getting ready for Knit City. Well, my sweater's done, but my sweater, I actually put pictures of it on Instagram today. The sweater's been done since October, but I just haven't gotten, and I wasn't wearing it a lot because I want to keep it for Knit City. So I thought, well, I should at least take pictures of it. I looked like my Ravelry is terribly lacking this year. Like I've got so many projects that don't have pictures on them yet. And I thought I really got to get those. And today, at least it wasn't snowing or raining. So we could go out and take a few pictures of it.
Well, when I was also looking for those sock photos, I found another set of photos that Mike photographed. It is for a sweater I finished last year that I never posted.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to post those soon. So if people are following along on Instagram and they see weather that has grass and trees, no, we weren't, or trees with leaves. We were not in a remote location. It was just a lost set of photos. But yeah, life gets busy, right? And there's just sometimes not time to do all the things. We also booked, so son is out in BC right now for a week with his wife visiting, and then we head back out in 19 days, I think the app told me. So we booked that this week as well. So we're going to head back out and visit out there for a couple of weeks. And then that gets us into, I'll be home just 4 days before Knit City. So I need to get these projects done.
Sick from the plane. That's all I'm saying.
Haven't been sick. I know I hate to say it,
but Don't say that.
I've not been sick since 2021 with all the travel and everything else. I have not been sick. So I'm just holding on. I've been sneezing a lot this week and I thought, is that going to develop? No, nothing has developed. Just my normal sneezing. So no sickness here. Not at all.
Well, that's good. Okay. Well, we hope that you enjoyed. We're glad that you're here to join us. Don't forget, if you want a chance at winning one of Nancy's patterns, go in after this is up on YouTube and take a look at her patterns and let us know what your favorite pattern is, or maybe 2 or 3 patterns, whatever strikes your fancy from Nancy's socks. I know I've not been disappointed with any of them that I've knit, and I know Kelly's really enjoyed knitting them. So yeah, so go have a look at that. And we hope that you have an amazing couple of weeks. We hope that the weather is whatever you want it to be, wherever you are, and that you have time to spend some time for yourself, doing something for yourself. And we will see you again in a couple of weeks. Take care and happy knitting.